how can we as citizens respond to a new administration in our government that seems to be doing its best to work against the environment?
Well, while you're here, you might as well read some history. I think that'd be a great thing. And read some literature. Read James Still for a start. Mr. Still observed the industrialization of eastern Kentucky and understood what it meant. Read The Doll Maker. That's an eminently agrarian book by Harriet Arnault, who knew exactly what happened when an agrarian family. You know that book? Gertie Neville's. She's the agrarian in her marriage. She's got a little spot of land. She goes to cut an axe handle on it. She doesn't cut the best tree. She cuts an inferior tree that has a good length in it that you could make an axe handle from, that sort of thing. And her husband wants to earn big money, and they move, is it to Detroit? I think to Detroit. And they suffer. But she understood all about that. These are people who understand the connection between the land and the people. There's a lot of reading, a whole course of reading that I could give you. Well, what would you call it? A sequence of scientists. Aldo Leopold, Sir Albert Howard, J. Russell Smith, his book Tree Crops, Wes Jackson, our contemporary, my contemporary. All these are people trying to understand the economic connection. That can be studied, and it needs to be understood. That's why the conservation movement is so weak. They're uninterested in that connection. They are not economic enough. When the Sierra Club's selling expensive vacations to so-called wild places and expensive camping equipment, you've got to go where people have their eyes on the connection between us and our sources. Where does our food, clothing, and shelter come from? And what does it cost to the people who produce it and to the land it's produced from? So there's something you can do, but it's a lifetime curriculum. You'll never get to the end of it. But there's fascination in it, you see. That's the payoff. It's interesting. That's the payoff. You'll never finish being interested in it. If you like the work, you'll never get over it.